Welcome to the Doc of Detox, everyone. It's Wednesday, and don't forget that Sherry Calbaum will be on this afternoon talking about juicing from A to Z with me. So you're really going to enjoy that. But guess what? What do you think of the one a day today? Okay, so the one a day today is what's falling out of your vagina. Now that might be a little bit blunt, but understand something. I know women where they've had 2.5 feet of their intestine falling out of their vagina, where their bladder was coming out of their vagina. This is not make-believe. You know, 49% of the women in North America are actually leaking urine, okay? And we also see that a lot of the women are having what? Pelvic floor dysfunction. And the reality is nobody understands it, but it's actually constipation. But guess what? Nobody has constipation, because when we're all constipated, we think we have normal bowel movements. What do you think of that? Mm-hmm. So we were talking about this morning when Sage was working on your lower back, it was pretty painful and pretty tough in there. How matted was her back?
Oh, it's just a complete mat.
Like a rubber mat, right? Like a rubber mat.
You can't even feel like the actual calcium deposit and the nodules, because the scar tissue is rooted in and become all binded together.
Yeah. So this is the deal. So what happens is the more your core leaves you, otherwise the tone, okay, the more that your bacteria go into bad bacteria, the more that the yeast turns into fungus, the more you're going to lack tone, you're going to lack integrity, you're going to lack your immune system. Guess what? What do you think gets you off the toilet? What do you think gets you into the car? What do you think picks up the groceries? What do you think picking up your kids is? What do you think getting out of bed? How do you do that? What about that commercial? I've fallen and I can't get up. Well, that's because your core is on the floor. Okay? When you lose tone here, your back has to be broken. Oh, my back's broke. Oh, my back is out of place. Oh, I have to have a spinal operation. They say they got to fuse my spine, which is, you don't have to do that. Understand something. We are surgery mad now, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
We're surgery mad. And the reality is that once you look after the good bacteria, once you start looking after your diet, you won't have a riot going on in your abdomen. This is called the core for a reason. This is 85% of your immune system, and 85% of your energy is stored here, but only if you have integrity left. Okay? So your back is really tight, right? And it's always tight, like it's constricted. And because she lacks tone, because you had, 11 surgeries on her abdomen. Now, I don't know how she got off this easy, because some women will just have one surgery done, whether it's a cesarean or whether it's a hysterectomy or a myomectomy, and they'll actually find stuff falling out of their vagina. They'll actually find that lovemaking is really hard. They'll find that they can't stop urinating when they don't want to urinate. So all of this stuff can happen, and most of those symptoms you don't have.
No, thank God.
Now, believe it or not, there's so much scar tissue in here, but what happens when you tear out? What was the last surgery you had?
I had the ablation in the
And
uterus.
you had the ablation in the uterus because all the scar tissue was being torn apart.
Yeah.
So the scar tissue is like beef jerky, and it makes it fall, and that's what your body does. It'll create scar tissue wherever it can to support until you become strong enough. But the reality is you don't have elasticity, you don't have flexibility. So when you don't have elasticity and flexibility, and you try to move like you used to and try to stretch or make that longer movement, you're going to tear out. And that's what you did. You tore out. And so then you weren't going to stop bleeding, right?
Yeah.
Right. Whereas if you've got beautiful, healthy connective tissue, you're never going to tear out and you're never going to bleed out.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So understand something. It's all about the core. It's about learning to really understand this. And that's why most people, when they get older, they don't move around very well. So don't forget to join us this afternoon, okay, for Sherry Calbaum, A to Z juicing. And Monday, I will be doing my live Q&A. So write your questions under here. Have a beautiful day.